Welcome to another episode of Week in Review from CitizenCitadel. We've got 8 topics this week, including the RSI Apollo and 3.2.1F. So let's jump straight in. Welcome back. So at number 8 we have the 3.2.1 update. This week sees more polish applied to the 3.2.1 PTU, with further improvements to remote and manned turrets, and a raft of bug fixes. The 3.2.1F patch alone brought 24 new bug fixes for things ranging from overheating, to power loss, to lighting issues. There have been 3 minor patches this week, but no word on when 3.2.1 will finally push to the live servers. As always, I'll keep you updated when that happens. At number 7, we have ship sales. This week saw the end of both the Vulture promotion and the 3.2 ship sale, but instead replaced them with the all-new RSI Apollo. We'll cover the specifics of this ship later, but you can pick it up for $225 war bond with LTI, or $250 non-war bond with 6 months insurance. You could also opt for the First Responder pack, including an Apollo, Cutlass Red, Cutlass Blue, and Avenger Stalker for $495 war bond and $550 non-war bond. This time around, CIG also included a game on the sales page, allowing you to unlock a unique variant of the Apollo. Scoring more than 100,000 points will give you the chance to win an Apollo, and the opportunity to purchase the Medevac variant for $250 war bond and $275 non-war bond. I'll link the sale page down below. At number 6 we have the roadmap update. This week finally saw some progress beginning on 3.2, with an overall 1% increase on progress bringing us to 43%. Our biggest winners were network entity streaming gaining 100% and now being complete, async background spawning gaining 10%, and Lorville gaining 6%. The core text section of the roadmap is progressing very well, though this is to be expected given the big push on performance needed for this update. No tasks lost any progress this week, but development was still slower than usual as CIG began to ramp up production. Many of the ships were moved to in development despite having no tasks completed, so we'll likely see progress on these in the coming weeks. The gameplay section is currently the least completed, with only 2 tasks in progress, one at 11% and one at 0. These are likely lower priority for CIG at this stage, as the focus of 3.3 is to launch Hurston, which heavily relies on much of the core tech. No sign of the 3.6 roadmap yet, but we do continue to see improvements on 3.2.1. There's no word of when one might appear, but it did appear a couple of weeks after the 3.1 release, so we'll hopefully see it soon. At number 5 we have ship shape. The Origin 300i is beginning its rework phase, currently sitting alongside the Banu Defender and the 890 jump in the white box phase of the pipeline. We see further work that's been completed on the 890 jump over the last couple of weeks, seeing just one of the white box concepts for this ship, which is due to release in Alpha 3.5 early next year. The Freelancer variants are well into the grey box stage of development, much to the delight of many Freelancer owners. This is a great sign that they'll release on time in Alpha 3.4. The F8 Lightning, Mustang variants, 600i Touring and Hammerhead are all in the final art phases, with many waiting on tech art resources to become available. That's all for ships currently in the pipeline. Now we take a look at the Apollo, an all-new medical ship from RSI. It's been a while since RSI got a new ship, and this is the 3rd medical ship to join the game. We currently have the Cutlass Red, which is comparable to an ambulance, and the Endeavour, which can be configured as a huge hospital-type ship. This is positioned as a smaller clinic-style ship, with 6 beds available. It maintains RSI style, with sleek design, and holds 28 SCU of cargo. It holds 1 turret just for basic defense, and it isn't designed for prolonged fighting. This ship will be designed to allow you to drop players off from a Cutlass Red, heal them up, and send them on their way. That's all for ship shape this week. Many ships are working their way through the pipeline, and overall it looks like we're going to have some really interesting ships to flesh out the game in the coming patches. At number 4 we have lore content. This week's lore post follows archaeologist Lorenzo Chernov on his adventures in one of the first pre-production Drake Vulture ships loaned to him by Drake for testing. He heads out to an old wreckage site, convinced that there's more to learn, and returns with more than he bargained for. I'll link the post in the video description, and I'd encourage you to check it out. At number 3, we have Around the Verse. This week's ATV offers some more updates and insight into recent developments in the PTU. The first AI security forces are being tested in Korea, defending the terminals against criminals. ESP continues to improve, and the targeting system is being improved to make it easier to hit things in turrets. Gyro stabilization has been improved, and keeping a target close to the crosshair will make it much more likely to hit. These features are planned to release in Alpha 3.2.1. Previews have been added for ship kiosks, allowing you to preview new items on yourself or on your ship. These come complete with highlighting for new components, and will be available on the PMA and VMA in future. Internal tools continue to be developed for semi-procedural generation of buildings, planets, stations, etc. It's currently being used for rest stops and appears to be working well. Utilitarian elements continue to be worked on, with hangars, habs and props all continuing to be built out. Hurston's moons are being built, getting them ready for Alpha 3.3. Hurston will be the first playable planet in the game, but its 4 moons will also be present in 3.3. Designers are currently working out where Hurston will sit in the Stanton system, balancing realism, travel time and fun. That's all for ATV this week. Progress looks to be going well, and I hope you're all excited as I am for Hurston to finally release. At number 2, we have Reverse the Verse. This week's RTV gave us the chance to speak to several of the designers who worked on the RSI Apollo and medical gameplay. We got a chance to ask questions regarding many aspects of these gameplay elements and this upcoming ship. I'll be releasing a dedicated video on the RSI Apollo later this week, but we'll highlight some of the interesting things here. The Apollo will be slightly longer than a Cutlass, but with the same width and more usable space. It'll have 28 SCU of cargo space, with a large ramp for loading and unloading. It'll be about the same speed as a Freelancer, with a 205 meter per second top speed. The Medevac variant offers more armour, but comes in at 10 meters per second slower than its twin. It has 1 turret on top, with 2 size 2 laser cannons on the regular variant, and 2 size 2 ballistic miniguns on the Medevac variant. The Medevac also offers a pair of size 2 missiles for some extra defense. The layout was released to show how the interior of the ship might look in the future. This has been tweaked already to include some ship components, etc., but gives us a good idea of how it's going to look inside. It includes 6 Tier 3 medical beds, offering help for minor injuries such as cuts, damaged limbs, etc. You can swap these out if you'd like for Tier 2 rooms with 2 beds per room, or 2 Tier 1 rooms with only 1 bed. These are for recovering from near-death experience or major damage. You can swap them out how you'd like and have a mix on either side. In the future there will be some permanent injuries such as lost limbs, etc., but this isn't finalised or implemented yet. It'll all be worked out in the near future when fleshing out medical gameplay. The Apollo uses drones to fly out, grab people and bring them into the ship. It comes with 2 of these drones by default, which encase the player and dispense them onto the bed. You'll also be able to use these to remove people from the ship, though you'd hope that they're capable of leaving by themselves. The Apollo should fit inside the Endeavour and any other ship which can hold a Freelancer. The Cutlass Red has only 1 bed, so you may want to pick up an Apollo if you'd like to get more patience, but the Cutlass will be much more powerful in terms of defence. There are no VTOL fans on the Apollo, but you might see remnants of them on some of the concept images when they were originally considered. The Apollo takes 2 crew members and can be used for cargo if you really wish, though there are more efficient ways to trade cargo. The drones will be manned, and while they have some autonomous features, they will require at least some player input. That's all for RTV this week. I'll link to the sale page for the RSI Apollo in the description below if you'd like to check it out. And finally, at number 1, we have the community overview. The community this week is full of speculation and discussion regarding the new ship and the latest blog post on medical gameplay. The community seems to be okay with this mechanic as a whole, though there are always those who disagree with CIG's decisions. Many are keen to add an Apollo to their fleet, serving as their org hospital, and I'm sure CIG won't have a hard time selling quite a few of these. That's all from me for this week. As we approach 100 subscribers, I'd love to hear from you guys if there's anything special I should do to mark the occasion. Leave a comment below, like if you liked it, encourage your friends and org members to get subscribed, and I'll see you guys in next week's episode of Week in Review.